He's going to throw the ball hot to one of his inside receivers.
Sure looks like they're blitzing. Giants have DJ Ware, third string running back in the game. So the slots off the edge. They get to him right away with Robert Quinn. First National Football League sack. The player taken out of North Carolina who didn't play college football last year, involved with that illegal benefits conflict at North Carolina.
Well, the offensive line gapped it. Everybody's going to come down. Nobody blocks Quinn, who was inactive, as you say, Mike. How about that for your first sack? Nobody blocks you when you're on the blind side of Eli.
They got Breeze, and he goes down. Robert Quinn wrapped him up.
How long have the Rams fans been waiting for this? The first-round pick, here he is. Robert Quinn has gotten a lot of pressure, but has been unable to finish this year. That is a nasty good move to the inside of the left tackle, Jermon Bushrod. He sells it upfield and then plants and dips and cuts
off of the hash.
Seventh time they've targeted Larry Fitzgerald. He has 2 catches in the game. Chancey Stuckey shifting. And the blitz, and Robert Quinn, the first-round draft pick of the Rams, comes in for his 3rd sack of the season. He's had 1 in 3 consecutive games. Quinn is starting to see more playing time and starting to be very effective.
He has really come into his own. Remember, this guy hadn't played football in a year and a half. Here he comes off the edge with the pressure from the Rams. And right there, this guy had a block punt last week and now a big...
Tavares Jackson goes down. Robert Quinn with the sack. That's 32 sacks given up by Seattle, tied for worst in the NFL this year with the Rams.
And that one's on the quarterback. I mean, that's a good job by Robert Quinn, who's going to end up coming from over here. But Tavares feels him. Tavares rolls out to his right, but it's just a late reaction. Watch. You're going to see Robert Quinn. He gets pinned inside. Tavares steps up and then tries to bounce outside and break contain the other way. And Robert Quinn's able to corral him.
The first-round draft pick out of North Carolina.
Cardinals with a 2nd and 11 at their own 39. Doucette shifts. 4 wide receivers in for the Cardinals. Now everybody out. Skelton is dropped for a loss. And that's Robert Quinn, the rookie, with another sack, his 5th of the season. He has really come on. The Rams took a chance on him, drafting him in the 1st round after he had sat out and did not play football last season, and he has come on and played very well for them.
And Steve Spagnuolo's done a great job of bringing him along.
Down in New Orleans at the half, thinking upset like the Rams are here. But Stephen Logan checks in as the running back and then splits out far to the right side as a receiver. The Lions on 2nd down. And going down is Matthew Stafford. Robert Quinn with the sack. Chris Long got there as well to annoy him.
Well, and here's the beauty of it. It's a 3-man rush. Here's Robert Quinn. Tight end's going to release. He's on the tackle. He and Chris Long both meet at the quarterback. It's a 3-man rush. You got 5 guys to block 3. And if you can get pressure when you do that, look at the speed of both guys. That meeting at the quarterback, which trips up Matthew Stafford, and then Robert Quinn's able to corral him and get him to the ground.
And the Rams going with 6 defensive backs here. It's 3rd and 8 with 5 defensive backs. They got him. RG3 in the arms of Robert Quinn.
I want you to watch the handwork of Robert Quinn as he comes around the corner on Trent Williams. Watch number 94 get the hands down, whap right there. Then the ability to dip that shoulder and turn the corner and get on Robert Griffin basically by the time he hit the last step in him.
I don't think he found the ball soon enough.
Corner blitz coming 21. You can see him down at the bottom of your screen. Pressure backside. Sack. Robert Quinn. That's a guy you like.
Yes, indeed. I'll tell you what, the issue right now for Russell Wilson is that when he's in that pocket, he's having a hard time seeing. He moves to find a throwing lane. He's got one there. He's trying to move, and that's when they get him. You got to get rid of that ball. They're done. Good job all day of taking away their #1 choice.
He's working on Okun on the backside. Wilson tried to get out of there. Didn't see Quinn coming from the opposite direction.
Up to the top of your screen. Roberts in motion as Cobb looks that way. Wanted to come back the other way, and down he goes.
Well, he's fortunate just to hold on to the football. Robert Quinn just beats Batiste right off the ball. This is what we talked about earlier. The two tackles struggle with speed. Watch the speed rush to the outside. Batiste gets beat immediately. Turns perpendicular too early. Quinn wins. I'm impressed with Cobb holding on to the football given that situation.
That's the 3rd sack of the game. Remember, he went down 8 times against the Dolphins, and you're right, he pinned that football against his. And again, empty set for Kevin Cobb on the shotgun. Here comes that front 4, and down he goes again. And it's Robert Quinn again.
Hey, Ness, it's 5-on-3 again. They're only bringing 3. He beats Massey clear across his face. Why doesn't the left guard help him out here? It's 5-on-3. He's going to come right across his face like this. Defensive tackle is going to drop into protection. College can come back and help. He's too late. But the pressure these tackles are putting on their offense is inordinate.
Robert Quinn's 4th sack of the season. And it's 45 yards away from the end zone with 1 timeout and 1:41 to go. And they need 2 touchdowns through the Cardinals. And there's another sack. The ball is out. It's scooped up by the Rams. And that'll just about do it.
And that kind of sums up the night, Brad. That's what this night has been. Robert Quinn clearly beats Batiste around the edge.
I guess Chris Long was right. This guy is going to be pretty good.
He's got wonderful movement skills. You can see him naturally bend and move. He extends. Batiste and Massey have struggled with speed all night long, and just great awareness by Quinn to grab that elbow and force the fumble. Look at them. There they are.
Saturday, the new center obviously coming from Indy. Jermichael Finley needs to get back on track. Jordy Nelson's the go-to guy. Randall Cobb is giving them their big plays with the intermediate and deep passes. On 2nd and 11, pressure from Robert Quinn, and a hit by Quinn, and the ball popped loose. But it looks like the Packers have recovered it. There's a flag on the play. Looked like Marshall Newhouse was holding. Here is Goldinovich.
Offense number 74. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
Robert Quinn's had a big start to this season, Brian. Well, we talked about the quick get-off of both Quinn and Long. Here you're going to see Long on the right side. Jermichael Finley with just that presence and coming in on the backside. Excellent job.
Whole key. I mean, if you look at this group of the front 4, if they don't play great, not just good, they've got to play great today to really try to slow down that 49er run game. James Laurinaitis, the man in the middle, the quarterback of their defense. And then you look at their back end. Trumaine Johnson gets the start, the 3rd-round pick rookie for Janoris Jenkins.
After the 1-yard loss, 2nd down 11, Alex Smith set to throw, has nowhere to go, and the Rams bring him down. Brockers and Quinn. Michael Brockers, the #1 draft pick out of LSU this year, and Robert Quinn, the #1 choice of the Rams last year, in on the tackle.
Well, Alex Smith wanted to get rid of this ball quickly over the middle of the field to Vernon Davis. Look at his eyes. He is going right to Vernon. He has to pull off of him because of the coverage by Jolon Dunbar, which really allows the pass rush to get there. One thing to hit him, and he still delivered a strike.
A 20-yard completion sets up the 49ers from their own 45-yard line. Vernon Davis splits out to the bottom of your screen. Kaepernick is going to keep and go down right at the line of scrimmage. Robert Quinn wouldn't let him go. Kaepernick, who we said he stands 6'4", even as a fourth grader, he was only 5'2" at the time, and said he would grow into a top-notch athlete, or at least thought he would.
Well, he's a top-notch athlete, yet to be a top-notch quarterback. I mean, he just killed that play with something that he saw, and he liked something else and changed the play.
For step.
I'm not sure Brandon Gibson realized the ball was coming over to him.
2nd down and 10. Pressure. And Fitzpatrick goes down. Robert Quinn, along with Michael.
And Ryan Fitzpatrick never saw this coming. He looked over, his helmet peaks there, but comes left right away.
Oh.
He assumed the right tackle was going to push out and pick that blitzer up. And like we said earlier, you always remind your guys that whenever you huddle for any reason, you expect the defense to bring.
Win, you know the rest of it.
And if the Packers should lose and the Seahawks win, it's the 2 seed.
Again, to these empty sets, that pass rush has to heat up.
Wilson is going to be sacked for the 4th time today, as Robert Quinn now has 10.5 sacks, and that equals the most sacks given up by Seattle this season.
And that has to happen. Look, if Seattle is going to put 5 out, which they do here out of this empty set, St. Louis put 8 in coverage, had guys covered up pretty good. They rushed 3. The defensive ends have got to go off. Those offensive tackles are out on those islands by themselves. You get the coverage down the field. Robert Quinn is going to run around most offensive tackles in the pro game. He just did it that time to the Pro Bowler Okung.
But he's able to play through it.
First down on the 41, and hit from behind is Palmer. Ball is jarred loose and picked up by the lineman Levi Brown. And Brown, the left tackle, alertly picks it up, and it was Robert Quinn who had 10.5 sacks last year for the Rams. First sack of the game.
This is going to be one of the issues, one of the key matchups of the day. It was going to be Levi Brown on Robert Quinn. And early in this matchup, got to give the advantage to Quinn. Quinn had a monster game last year in the first meeting. These two, he had 3 sacks, 3 of their 9 sacks. When you got players on St. Louis making plays like that, it's difficult all the way around.
Now it's 3rd and long. And Carson Palmer holds on to the ball, but Quinn gets to him again. And a flag is down at the 30-yard line. So a penalty is down. Flag is down. Loss of 9. Pending the call. Cleet Blakeman, our referee.
Shift. Offense. All 11 players were not sent to snap. Penalties declined. Brings up 4th down.
So that was a big sack by Quinn because 9-yard loss on the play.
You see Levi Brown here has no chance. You know, he struggled a little bit in preseason too, Dick. I know they're worried about their protection here.
Joe, what a wild game out of Candlestick, 21-21. Here the 3rd down conversion story. Arizona's done well at 6 for 10.
60% 3rd down conversion is excellent in this league. It's a huge one now, 3rd and 9. Momentum was turning.
Here's Palmer, who needs 9 yards, gets hit. Ball is knocked loose. Robert Quinn, who has had a phenomenal game, getting to Carson Palmer. Ball is jarred loose. And it's going to be recovered by the Rams.
There you go, Dick. Turnovers in the second half.
Chris Long makes the recovery on Quinn's hit. Those defensive ends, well, that's what you expect from them.
We knew this was going to be an issue all night. We've been talking about it since the first series of the game. See Levi Brown here. Speed rush. Hand move, hand usage by Robert Quinn goes right by him. Gets a sack fumble. Great, great, great defensive end. He is certainly coming into his own now. There's not going to be a lot of people who don't know who Robert game.
Off the clock in that running game.
Falcons must get to the 37 for first down. Ryan in trouble. Down he goes. Wall with the initial pressure, and then Robert Quinn, who had 3 sacks last week, takes Ryan down back at the 21-yard line.
Well, you can't protect both edges. Very difficult to do that. They've got Jaquiz Rogers to Chris Long side. That means that on the back side, you're going to be one-on-one. Sam Baker versus Robert Quinn.
Nice pressure also by Kendall Langford. Up the middle, no way.
Good. And there was obvious frustration in that building, Brad. That's all they talked to us about, getting off to a quick start today.
We're embarrassed by the Cowboys game. Kaepernick, straight drop, now rolling and trying to get away, and he won't. Not from Robert Quinn. Sacked back at the 10-yard line. And a little bit of Kaepernick there with a kiss of the bicep.
And Kaepernick's a one-look guy. Watch what happens here. There's a bust. Miller is uncovered, but Kaepernick drops back, doesn't see it. It's wide open, and as soon as he sees pressure, he's getting out. But let me tell you something. Robert Quinn, one of the most gifted edge rushers in the entire league, tries to strip it. Kaepernick does a pretty good job just holding on to it.
Quinn's 5th sack of the season. Has it back to the 12-yard line, 2nd down and 18. You're going to get.
It is high drama, this league, each and every Sunday. You can't call them anymore. You got to sit and wait and react.
Ball's out as Yates gets hammered. Looks like the Texans are on top of it, and that pretty much describes the day for the Texans. The Rams with a 38-13 blistering.
Last week, 107 and 4 catches. 2nd down and 11 after the 1-yard loss. And this time Newton is going to throw it in the air. He's big enough to get away from trouble, but not big enough to get away from Robert Quinn, who has his 7th sack of the year, leading the NFC and 6th in the league.
Well, this athletic defensive line here, you can see Robert Quinn staying alive. Chris Long getting held just a little bit there on the edge, but the athleticism and the size of this defensive line of the St. Louis Rams is what Jeff Fisher is counting on their ability not only to get pressure on Cam Newton, but to bring him down, because he is a tough big man to bring down.
Third and 5, Doug Baldwin, the third receiver, is in. Wilson is in trouble and is sacked by Quinn. So 2 tackles for loss by Robert Quinn, the third-year man, first-round pick out of North Carolina.
That's how the Rams can win this game tonight. Contain Wilson in the pocket. Contain him. Make him stay in the pocket. Make that 5'11" status matter. There's nowhere for Wilson to go. The secondary buys time. And Robert Quinn, I'm telling you, Mike Tirico, is as dangerous as any pass rusher in this game. Play for years. Beware of Quinn at the top of the screen. Great pass rusher.
Will snap, picked up, pressure up the middle on the stunt. It is Quinn, who has been the star of this first half.
The mighty Quinn is ridiculous. I think he's the most dangerous pass rusher I've seen on tape. It's an inside move. Nobody touches him. He's got long arms, tremendous strength. And Seattle can't block him.
Clock continues to run on the sack. No timeouts. Wilson is chased and sacked again by Quinn. 10 sacks in the first 8 games of the season by Quinn. And interestingly, the Rams here take a timeout and will force Seattle to punt with 12 seconds left. What a half here by Quinn.
Well, in all fairness to McQuiston, he needs help. This is a backup left tackle. He's playing with no help from anybody, and I don't know many tackles in pro football that can handle Robert Quinn one-on-one. 3 sacks, a tackle for loss, and I've seen him chase down Wilson on 2 other occasions. They need to adjust at halftime.
Block completing 58% of his passes. Ball is out. That is a fumble, and the Rams have it. Chris Long, I think he's going to make it in the end zone for a touchdown. And a salute to the troops.
This is going to be a career sack number for Robert Quinn coming off the edge. His 11th sack. He is going to be a major problem for Anthony Costanzo all day. Nothing but a speed rush. Watch him run the corner and then knock the ball out when he gets there. They tried it with 2. Doesn't matter. He knocks it out. Perfect bounce into Chris Long. That's the momentum that the St. Louis Rams needed. Big time play.
The Rams' last 2 games have ended on last moment passes where they could have won or tied.
Control may forget that he was an upper echelon quarterback for years with the Seattle Seahawks. He was a good sign here.
On 3rd down and 3, another sack, and it's Robert Quinn. 2 in this game, adding to his career total.
Well, the great pass rushers, they can beat you in a multitude of ways. We know Robert Quinn is awesome on the speed. Watch him come up, show the speed, and then come underneath and just puts a beeline on the quarterback. Andrew.
Remember, the Bears have used 2 timeouts. The helmet communication an issue earlier, so Chicago with only 1 timeout remaining. Bennett, game 17. Down to 2:15 on the clock. And the ball's knocked away from the count by Robert Quinn. And Quinn, with his 13th sack, will take it in for a Rams defensive touchdown.
That defensive line has been relentless all day, getting pressure. It was only a matter of time before they came up with a big play.
The perseverance of Robert Quinn. I mean, how many times have we seen him close? He's working against Jermon Bushrod, one of the better left tackles in the league, but he's been close so many times. And when you've got a dominant edge rusher, you know, at certain points, you got to get somebody to release out that way, Tony. You got to help him out a little bit, get a chip. Yeah, help. And they've kind of left Jermon out there on his own all day, been battling the whole time. But you could sense that it was just going to be a matter of time, and Robert Quinn was going to get home, and that time he does for a sack, fumble, and a touchdown.
Everybody in tight. Breeze is going to go down. Robert Quinn with a sack. And the ball came out. Let's see if he's ruled down.
Mike Carey's calling for 4th down there. Robert Quinn is ridiculous in his get-off the edge.
That's his 14th sack of the year, and Breeze got his own fumble back. It's a good thing he did to give the Saints at least a try here.
Incredibly electric coming off the line of scrimmage. Just watch the speed here of Robert Quinn and just right by Charles Brown. I mean, it's all about the get-off, then it's about the speed, and most importantly, Chris, it's about the ability to burst and finish. Once he sinks that arm under in, and he just drives up through Charles Brown for a huge sack on 3rd and 1.
Breeze is in trouble, lost the football. The Rams have it. Robert Quinn forces another fumble. Comes out of it with Chris Long helping him.
Robert Quinn is unbelievable. Wait till you get a look at what he does here. Taking the inside rush and then the desire to get to the quarterback. Watch him come crawling at Drew Brees and knock the football out. You got to see that from the start. It was awesome.
Rams take over after the fumble recovery caused by Robert Quinn on the sack of Breeze. His 8th forced fumble, which is tops in the NFL. His 15th sack of the year.
That would be a strong. 2nd down and goal. Glennon in trouble, and down he goes in the arms of Robert Quinn. 16th sack of the year for Quinn.
Well, we said they needed to chip Quinn on every play. They didn't, and they paid the price for it. Donald Penn, with no help on the inside, gets beat on an inside rush. Overset to the outside like he thought the line was going to turn that way. Like we said, you try to go one-on-one with he and Chris Long, you're going to lose.
And
2-minute warning. Tampa Bay with a football. 4th down naturally going for it here. They need to get up to the 46-yard line. Lennon dropped by Quinn.
Who else?
Who has just tied Kevin Carter's St. Louis Rams franchise record with his 17th sack of the season. Right down here, and they don't have a chance to get any help to him. Rainey's trying to chip him a little bit. He just spins to the inside. Excuse me, that was Leonard trying to help chip. He just spins to the inside. Mike Lennon waiting for anybody to come open. Sometimes those chips are not much help. He just knocked Quinn back to the inside, gave him a free angle to Mike Lennon. Again, it is Quinn, and there's a record. His 3rd sack of the day. His 5th in the last 2 games. That's 18 on the year, and he breaks the St. Louis Rams record held by Kevin Carter. Sacks in a single season. Well, winning record or not, Defensive Player of the Year, Robert Quinn, certainly deserving of consideration for
season for Lynch. He's got 11 touchdowns. Russell Wilson looks to throw. He's scrambling around, and he's going to go down at the 10-yard line. It's another sack for Robert Quinn. 19th of the season. He's a half sack behind Mathis for the NFL lead.
First, you're going to get good pressure there by Chris Long, and then Quinn just really keeps his motor running. As Russell Wilson steps up in the pocket, Robert Quinn just keeps going. And that's the thing about him now. He can turn the corner, he can get your edge, but his ability to burst and then finish on the quarterback really this year is second to none in pro football.
On 2nd and 8, Wilson in trouble. Down he goes. First sack of the season for Robert Quinn, who had 19 last year.
I hope that they did not have a protection design where they had Cooper Helfet one-on-one against Robert Quinn. I mean, you've got to have some help from your tackle. You can't ask a tight end to block somebody as athletic as Robert Quinn. That's one of those situations right there when you get that alignment. Somebody's got to recognize it, audible out, get some help.
From the 47.
You know, they need to get off on a good start right here with Alex Smith. Maybe a run play to set the tone.
Well, they got a good one in Jamal Charles, and you see Dwayne Bowles starting to come in motion. Slot left. Play action. They have to watch for Charles, but Smith being chased from behind, and the ball knocked away. And the Rams may have recovered, and it was Robert Quinn who forced the fumble. And let's see what the official signal is, and the Chiefs recover.
Alex Smith falling back on the ball. He's got to protect the football, but if he had time, he had Dwayne Bowe on the out and up going to the outside of the field.
The ruling is a forward fumble that was out of bounds, touched by the player touching out of bounds. It'll still be Kansas City ball, 2nd down.
So the ball will be marked at the 49 of the Chiefs, and very nearly a turnover here.
Take a look here. He's got to protect the football, but great job by Robert Quinn still giving the effort to bring down Alex Smith. They've got to do a better job with the Rams of being able to recover this. This is something that I think is key going forward.
Overall pick last year, had injury problems. Seems to be settling in, but that penalty makes it 2nd down and 12. Smith, and Quinn is going to get him. What a pass rush that time from Robert Quinn. And he had a defender or an offensive lineman that he just went around easy.
Well, that just goes back to the play before when Eric Fisher jumped off sides. You know, if you take a look here, Robert Quinn lined up on the outside. Eric Fisher's got to get back. He's got to get that kick start back. And Jamal Charles has got to help out. You got to see that your tackle needs help. Give a chip just to buy some time. He had Dwayne Bowe wide open in the middle of the field.
So they lose a yard. Now it's 3rd down and 12. From the 28 of the Rams. Tie score. Smith under pressure again. Gets away once. Can't get away from everyone. And Robert Quinn once again coming in, and the Rams are going to have to do, or the Chiefs are going to have to do something about Robert Quinn, as William Hayes had penetration as well. And the Chiefs going in reverse now. Donovan lose 7.
You know, right here, Travis Kelce's got to get something on Robert Quinn. If it's a shoulder, a hand, or something, just to buy some time for the O-line. But excellent job by that front four of St. Louis.
So,
other than that dislocated finger.
Yeah, he's missed a couple games with back, ankle. He's really been banged up, and he's another weapon. Rams coming with pressure. Kaepernick tries to step away, and down he goes again. The Rams have their 4th sack, and that time it's Robert Quinn.
Robert Quinn's going to finish it off, but it's James Laurinaitis again who's going to blitz up the middle. He finds the crack. He gets his hands on Kaepernick, and here comes Quinn to finish the deal. Greg Williams, I think, really doing a nice job in this game, keeping Kaepernick off balance.
17th season in the league, spent 2 years at Stanford with Coach Harbaugh. 2nd and 1. They give Kaepernick 9 on that run. Kaepernick pressured again. Down he goes in his fumble. Quinn with the sack, and the Rams have recovered. It's Eugene Sims.
He still has not been touched.
He could have gotten up there, but I don't think he realized it. Robert Quinn has a sack, the 5th sack for the Rams, John.
You were just talking about that right arm of his. Always, that thing is a weapon. And Robert Quinn and this St. Louis Rams defensive line, they're back.
John, that's the 9th forced fumble since last year by Quinn, the most in the NFL. Rams football down 7.
They show blitz. On 3rd and 9, Palmer is going to go down. And the Rams, who had 8 sacks last week, and Robert Quinn bouncing back, leading the charge for the sack here.
Well, the Rams do a lot of what the Cardinals do. You see all these guys up here in the line of scrimmage, and they're really just bouncing out into a zone. Carson Palmer has nowhere to deliver that ball with immediately, and this Rams front four, some pass.
Made up his mind he was going to throw it. That was not the place to go with the football.
Carr in trouble, and down he goes. Robert Quinn with his 7th sack of the season.
And you got to give credit again, Andrew, to the coverage on this play. There was pressure. No doubt about it, the pocket breaking down, but Derek Carr had nowhere to go with the football. You can see everywhere, nobody's open. The pressure coming up from Quinn on the outside. Derek Carr turned back right into him. Easy sack for Robert Quinn, who's one of the very best in the NFL.
Wow, and we saw the Browns last week, Steve and I, and Brian Hoyer had a rough day, but did lead them on that late drive to get in field goal range, and Mike Pettin had seen enough. Interesting move for the Browns. A Schaub on 3rd and 3 is hit. Lost the football. Ball is out, and the Rams have recovered. Robert Quinn forced the fumble. Chris Long recovered, and it's the 4th turnover today forced by the St. Louis defense.
Matt Schaub is a pocket guy all the way around, and if anything, if you want to criticize anything, it's this. He will hold on to the ball back there and wait for things to happen. The result a lot of times is that blind side hit with the ball coming out. He's out of that 8-man front. If you don't scare him on the outside, it's not going to happen.
Third down and 9. Schaub chased from behind, lost the football. Quinn stripped it loose, and the Raiders fall on it. Robert Quinn with a big second half. Second time today he's forced a fumble.
Well, he is a beast off the edge. As good as anybody in the NFL coming off the edge. He runs right past the tackle, and he's got that natural instinct of how to get to the football. You see Chris Long enjoying watching again from the sideline, but Robert Quinn as good as it gets on the edge.
1 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox. streaming live on Fox Sports Go. On third down, McCoy in trouble. They've got him. Fourth sack of the game for the Rams. James Laurinaitis and Robert Quinn combined for the sack.
I don't know who you give it to. Do you give it to Quinn or do you give it to Laurinaitis? They've been showing this pressure where Laurinaitis stands in at the line of scrimmage and waits for the rush to develop and then finds a crease, finds a seam. Colt McCoy runs right into that sack. He has no chance. No chance, and I said it before.
For 88 yards. First down, Redskins at the 20. Alfred Morris back in and running back. As the Redskins, low snap, and McCoy is hit by Robert Quinn.
Trent Williams didn't have a chance. Coming out of his stance here. Watch Robert Quinn. Trent Williams doesn't have a chance. Doesn't. I mean, he doesn't even get out of his stance. It's Robert Quinn, that first step. And it's boom. Those are the plays that kind of get your quarterback hurt. You see Colt McCoy on the ground there.
Didn't seem as if he